Alas, amidst the realm of Nguyen, where clouds drift endlessly across the skies, there exists a figure whose name, though belonging to a bygone era, still casts a long shadow stretching across 1,000 miles of the martial world. That figure is Wang Chongyang, the Taoist sage of Mount Zongnan, a grandmaster whose mere mention compels even the proudest heroes to temper their arrogance by half. Though none of the later generations ever witnessed him strike a blow, they heard his name and were instantly filled with reverence. Before ever catching a glimpse of his true visage, the world already recognized him as a pinnacle of martial arts, a height that, in his time, few could ever hope to reach. For in him, the martial arts ceased to be a mere contest of strength and weakness amidst the clamor of the masses. Instead, they transformed into the very essence of towering mountains, of ethereal clouds, and of a spirit that stood aloof, detached from the petty rivalries of the mundane world. In founding the Chongyang sect, he did not merely establish a religious order amidst the mortal realm. Rather, he forged a path of return for those souls yearning to escape the mire of fame and fortune. Within his very being flowed an aura of serene Taoist purity. Yet, deep within his bones lay hidden the audacious ambition of a true man, one who once harbored dreams of mending the heavens and filling the seas. It is precisely because he embodied both the spirit of engagement with the world and the heart of transcendence that Wang Chongyang remains a figure whom later generations find impossible to fully comprehend. When he chose to advance, he could shake the very foundations of the martial world. Yet, when he chose to retreat, the Green Mountain stood ready to shelter a lifetime of solitary seclusion. At the legendary sword conference on Mount Hua, so many years ago, the assembled heroes vied for supremacy like surging tides battered by a gale. The arrogant East, the brooding West, the lofty South, and the gallant North, each was a peerless hero in his own right. And yet, the mantle of supremacy fell to him alone, as if ordained by the very heavens above. It was not because he relished the victory, nor was it because he craved the fame. It was simply because, when martial prowess, spiritual insight, and moral virtue all ascend to that absolute zenith, all earthly disputes and rivalries naturally fade into utter insignificance. Wang Chongyang was formidable for his martial prowess, yet even more worthy of reverence for his moral character. He was like an ancient pine upon a towering peak, silent, yet never lowly, distant, yet never faint. The wind might brush past his sleeves, the rain might settle upon his silvered shoulders, yet the rectitude rooted deep within his very bones was something that even the frost and snow of 4 seasons could not easily shake. Alas, however, even a sage of such lofty stature could not escape the silent, subtle bonds of love. His past with Lin Choyin was like a cold streak of moonlight falling across the Taoist life. Beautiful yet sorrowful, intimate yet distant, a presence one might reach for, only to grasp at a mere phantom. Martial arts might conquer a host of rivals, yet the human heart does not always triumph over the pangs of longing. Fame might elevate one above the entire world, yet the human heart often yields to a solitary sigh in the dead of night. Thus, when one looks upon Wang Chongyang, one sees not merely a legend of martial arts. One sees, too, the life of a hero who chose the path of asceticism, to bury deep within himself a multitude of unspoken sentiments, within the narrative's flow. Though he departed this world early, his influence has never faded. As long as the Chongyang sect endures, his shadow remains. As long as the legend of the five greats persists, the echoes of his tempestuous era live on. Countless successors traversing the martial world, whether consciously or unwittingly, walk to some degree within the shadow he left behind. In closing this chapter, let me offer a final thought. Wang Chongyang's true greatness lay not solely in his hatful, once stood supreme over the world, but in his ability, even amidst the blinding glare of fame and glory, to preserve a core of spiritual purity, cold and luminous as a star in the midnight sky. And so the clouds that shroud Mount Chongyang have lingered for 1,000 years, much like his name, though now a tale of the past. It continues, whenever spoken, to stir within the human heart a profound sense of reverence mingled with wistful sorrow.